Hi guys, this is Mac with Apollo Scooters, and today we're taking a look at the setup of the brand new Apollo Light. So this video is intended for everyone who just purchased their Apollo Light and will be receiving it in the coming days and wants to know exactly how to make the most out of their brand new scooter. So let's get started. Okay, so when you receive your scooter and take it out of the box, this is what you're going to see. It'll come nicely wrapped and secured to make sure that no damage occurs during shipping. So the first thing you want to do is, of course, unfold your Apollo Light. To do that, you want to locate the blue latch right on top of the neck right here. And all you want to do is pull the latch down like so. When that happens, the pin will pop out of the socket and the scooter will be able to unfold like so. So you want to lock it upright at a roughly 90-degree angle. It's very important that the pin doesn't stay out like this because at this point the scooter is not properly secured. So you just want to give it that extra push and lock it into place like that. So now that we have your scooter unfolded, let's move on to the handlebar. Okay, so here we have your unfolded scooter. So as you can see, it comes nicely secured. So the first thing you want to do is just get something sharp and remove the protective plastic and styrofoam. So just give it a nice little gentle cut. Be careful not to damage any of the wires or the metal parts. Of course, as you can see, your handlebar is actually folded. And the first thing you want to do is just push these handles up until they click in. So this is a very important element because you can see already they're quite secure. Yeah, there's a bit of a wobble and we'll discuss how to tighten that in just a second, but this is the most important part of unfolding your handlebars. So when you first pull out your scooter, you'll notice everything's a little bit loose. You can see the brake moves, the throttle moves. There's a bit of room to play with the entire stem, and that's perfectly normal. The reason we ship them like that is actually for the scooter to have a bit of flexibility to move during shipping. So should there be any impact to the box, the entire thing would just shift as opposed to break. So it's just a safety precaution for shipping. But now we're gonna move on and show you how to actually tighten everything ahead of riding. So the first point of adjustment you see is this latch right here. And what this controls is really the height of the stem. So you can see it moves up and down quite smoothly when it's open. You close it and it's a little bit more fixed in place. You can see there's still some room to play. That's perfectly normal. As we mentioned, everything comes pretty loose. So all you want to do is just give this screw a bit of a turn right here, tighten it, and now you see there's much more resistance, but the stem is nicely fixed in place. So moving on to the handlebar. So you might remember we've unfolded it like that. The next thing you want to do is tighten these two rings. So all I'm doing here is I'm just screwing them in opposite directions. So this one's going that way, this one's moving back. Up until you start to feel a bit of resistance when turning these rings, that's when you know you've reached the end and the entire handlebar should be nicely, firmly fixed in place. You can still see we have our loose brakes and throttle. So now let's take a look at how to tighten these. Okay, so now we're gonna take a look at how to tighten the throttle as well as the brake. And to do so, you wanna use the included tool set. And you'll notice it has a number of different sized Allen keys. So you want to find the right one, and let's start with the throttle. So now let's move on to actually tightening the two screws. As you can see, the top two are already tight. So what you want to focus on are just the bottom two screws. So figure out what's comfortable for you, which position is right, and then use the attached tool set to start tightening the screws. Should take no more than 30 seconds. Very straightforward. And there you go. So now your throttle is nice and tight. It's firmly stuck in one position, so you're at no risk of it moving during your ride. Okay, let's move on to the brake. So now let's take a look at the brake. One thing worth mentioning here is that a lot of our customers like to add accessories such as phone holders or lights, and this is usually a very good spot to put them right here, because what you want to keep in mind is that when you unfold your scooter, you need to keep enough room for the ring to be able to pop out. So you can see that right here. The ring pops out and it moves up until here. So if you put an accessory right here, obviously your ring is going to be stuck and you're going to be unable to fold the scooter. So keep that in mind when you put your phone holder or light on. And now let's take a look at how to tighten the brake. So similar advice as with the throttle, make sure it's comfortable for you, somewhere around here. And now you want to find a different sized Allen key, one of the larger ones. And the screw you want to tighten is actually right underneath the brake. So you can get down a little bit, find it right here, and give it a good twist. And you can see the brake is firmly fixed in place. So now let's turn our attention to charging. So your charging port is located in the front left part of the base of the scooter right here. And you can see it comes with a protective cap. It's very important that you keep this cap on when you go outside riding, because should rain or water access it, there's going to be an issue. So just make sure you tighten this and secure it in place before going out. So now let's take a look at how to charge your scooter. And here's your charger. So when it comes out of the box, you'll see it is a block with the part that plugs into the scooter. And secondly, there's a cable that plugs into the wall. This cable fits right into here. So you want to go ahead and plug that in. So once you've assembled your charger like so, you want to make sure that the first thing you do is actually you plug in the AC plug into the wall first. Once you do that, you plug the scooter part into the scooter. This is a best practice we recommend, and it essentially reduces the risk of sparking when you plug in your charger. So once you plug your charger into the wall, you want to grab this end and make sure that the 3-pin prongs align with the 3 holes in the plug. And you'll notice there's also a bit of a tooth at the top of the pin. So you just want to make sure that everything aligns nicely and it goes in like so. There's also a little ring you can use to secure the charger while charging. What you'll notice is that when the scooter is charging, the light will actually be red. When it's entirely full, 100% charged, the light will turn green. All right, another question we get a lot is how do we take care of the tires? So you can see in the rear, the light actually features a solid tire, so there is no concern with pumping that one. So with the front guy right here, it is a pneumatic air tire, and when it comes to pumping it and inflating the tire, you want to make sure you locate the valve first. And when you do so, you want to take off the protective cap and then essentially use your pump to attach it to right here and pump it up to 50 psi. 50 psi is the recommended amount of pressure inside of these tires, and overinflating it can lead to punctures. This is actually one of the most common and frequent reasons why riders get punctures. It's overinflation of the tire. So another question we get quite often is, how do I lock my scooter when I want to leave it outside of the grocery store or outside of my class and whatnot? So we're going to demonstrate this with the folding lock that we sell here at Apollo 2. So let's pop this guy open like so. The place we usually recommend attaching the lock to is somewhere hollow, but also something that's quite sturdy and well attached to the body of the scooter. And there are 2 options you have on the light. The first one is the front suspension arm right here, and the other option is the rear suspension arm here. So we're just going to demonstrate using the rear suspension arm. You have your lock, you want to pass it through the back suspension, and there you go. So in this scenario, we're assuming there's some sort of a bike rail or bike rack in this spot. So you just be able to pass your lock through here and nicely lock it up like so. Nice and secure. Now let's take a look at how your scooter actually turns on. So to do so, you can see there's an on and off button right here and a mode button right here. To get this guy powered on, you simply press and hold the power button and you can see the display turns on. There are a couple of key statistics being displayed here, such as your gear, your speed in kilometers per hour, which is also available in miles per hour, and then your odometer and your battery charge. So in order to change your gear, which effectively controls your top speed, you press the mode button. You can see we pressed it once, it went up to 2. We press it again, it goes up to 3. We press it again, it goes back to 1. Each one of the gears controls the top speed. At gear 1, you're locked up at 20 kilometers per hour, gear 2, 25, gear 3, max, which is between 30 and 35 kilometers per hour. If you're curious about how to change the kilometers per hour to miles per hour, as well as a number of other settings, feel free to check out our other video about the P settings in the link below. Now, in order to switch between the distance measured by the odometer and a couple of other statistics, we press the on and off button. So you can see it switched from odometer to trip. Now, the difference is that the odometer is simply the total distance traveled in the lifespan of the scooter. The trip is the distance traveled on this specific trip. We press it again, we go to the voltage remaining. So you can see that the scooter has about 36 volt remaining in the battery, which corresponds to about 60% charge. We press it again, and we're back to odometer. So those are the 3 main settings you have control over. And lastly, a question about how to turn on the lights. Well, all you gotta do is simply press and hold the mode button, and you can see a little light icon pops up here, and your lights are powered on. So to turn them off, you do the same thing. You press and hold, lights switch off. And then lastly, to power off your scooter, you do the same thing. You press and hold the on and off button. All right, guys, so that was the quick setup guide for the Apollo Light. One thing we want to mention as well is that we actually inspect every single unit prior to shipping out. So if you have any concerns about your brake being tuned, your suspension being well adjusted, any of the bearings being well greased, we took care of that for you, and we hand inspected every single unit to make sure that it's ready to go right out of the box. Should you require any further assistance, please do not hesitate to contact us. You can reach us on our website. You can contact us via the email that's mentioned in your instruction booklet, or you can contact us via this video in the comment section below. Thanks very much for watching, and go out and enjoy your Apollo Light.